Nemesis chest 3 opening, let's go. And it is a... Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. As you can see, I am not on my account. I want to give a huge thanks to one of the members of this channel, Chattu YT, for letting me use your account to make this video. What we're going to be doing in this video is something that I would probably likely not do anytime soon on my account, and that's going to be opening some Nemesis chests. That's right everyone, right now if you're watching this video within the first 3 days of its release, we have the Nemesis days going on. And everyone knows that during Nemesis days, oh the game crashed, everyone knows that during Nemesis days, this is your chance to pick up some Nemesis monsters. So, because Chat2 has quite a bit of Nemesis souls, we're going to go ahead and use them. We're going to do chest openings. So, we're going to be getting Nemesis chest number 3, but I figured this would also be a good time to kind of give you guys my thoughts on all the chests, which ones I think are worth it, and all that fun stuff. So as you can see, there's Nemesis days currently going on right now. Let us go into the, is it packs? I think it's packs. Click on chests, and there's essentially 3 chests you can purchase. You can either purchase them for gems, or you can purchase them for souls. We have 410 souls, so we can get 4 chests. So, is that what I said? I hope that's what I said. And yeah, we're going to be purchasing number 3. So again, I'm going to go through my thoughts on all of them, and if you just want to skip to the chest opening, that's totally fine as well. But let's start with Nemesis chest number 1. So Nemesis chest number 1 gives you arguably one of the best monsters, actually not arguably, undeniably one of the best monsters in terms of the Nemesis monsters, and that is Xero the Ruby. Go ahead and look through my channel. Xero the Ruby was the first Nemesis I actually ranked up all the way to 130. This was a monster that actually made me use my Elementium. Prior to Ruby, I've saved a ton of Elementium on my account, and I was deciding where it should go, and I decided if there's any one monster I need to be level 130, it's going to be Xero the Ruby. Xero the Ruby has a skill that can apply 2 random control skills to the enemy monster. So an enemy monster can be immune to stun. Hey, that doesn't matter, you might land the freeze, you might land the possession. If an enemy monster is hardened to Bullrug, hey, you're landing 2 negative effects. On top of that, you can drain stamina. On top of that, you have 100% stamina drain, and you have an AoE 50% stamina drain. On top of that, you have a single target skill that can apply 2 control skills, so even against a dodge area monster, you can do stuff. Technically it's not a she, it's a it, but this monster is fantastic. Fantastic. This monster, when you have Nemesis Revival Dungeon, this monster can pretty much carry you. Her along with Sammy, but Sammy's not in this chest. That particular Sammy's not in the chest, but I figured I'd go ahead and give you my thoughts. So we have one really phenomenal monster. We have Faraday the Discharger, and in my personal opinion, all the Faradays are really good. There's obviously some better than others. Obscure and Discharger. I forget which is the normal one. Let me see. So this is Electrolyzer. Oh, Electrolyzer normal one. So Discharger. I think Discharger is the Earth one. So he's fantastic. He has an elemental advantage against his own element, and he has stunning capabilities, whereas the Obscure has a lot of torture over time. So Faraday, this version is really good as well. We have Warthog the Mountain Splitter. This is the Earth version, if I'm not mistaken, the Dark version. So he has a strong elemental advantage against his own element. He's pretty strong as well, and so is the Sunbringer. Honestly, a lot of the Nemesis variations, they are pretty good. We have Island Protector. This is the attacker Talos, so he's pretty powerful. Hydrotilla, the basic one, Icebringer. This one is not too important in my opinion. We have Lum the Iron Leader. This is the Lum that can do the AoE stun. So you can have Lum. Lum is normally a control monster, but this one has the capability to stun. Oh wait, I feel like I'm messing stuff up now. I think the magic one can stun. Ah man, I should have gone over everything. But yeah, we have Lum the Iron Leader. No, the magic one can stun. The magical matriarch. This one just has the elemental advantage against her own element. We have Lucifer the Haltatia, the basic Lucifer. We have basic Sammy, Disease Spreader. So honestly, if it's the basic versions, with the exception of Faraday, they're really not that great. So that's why I'm kind of breezing through them. And we have Natael the Flutter. This one has the AoE freeze skill because he's the water version of Natael. Natael has total blind, and then the water version can freeze, so he's pretty good. So in terms of good monsters in Nemesis chest number 1, you have the almighty Xero the Ruby. You have a strong Warthog the Mountain Splitter. You have a strong Talos the Island Protector. You have Natael the Flutter, and you have Lum the Iron Leader. Now, typically what players will tell you, from all of these, I think if you had to say which ones were worth, most players would say Xero the Ruby, and then they would probably say Faraday the Discharger or Warthog the Mountain Splitter. These 3 monsters. Everyone else you could probably do without, to be completely honest. Like, Talos is a monster. Talos was technically the free-to-play Nemesis monster. I love Talos, but honestly, like, right now, given the state of the game and everything, I wouldn't invest in him. I don't think he's worth investing. As for Xyron the Ruby, definitely still worth investing in, especially if anything to beat Nemesis or Bible Dungeon. Get yourself a couple orbs, get yourself some gems, get yourself a diamond relic. That's worth investing in, especially if you have some magical elemental cells or elementium. You could rank up this monster. Farday is a monster that's good because he's good at level 100. You don't need to rank up this monster for him to be good. He's good because he has anticipation. He's good because he can counter the enemy monster. And then Warthog the Mountain Splitter, I believe all versions of Warthog have a skill that removes positive effects and then deals damage. And it's super strong. I don't think the skill was intended to be that way. But yeah, it removes effects, then deals damage. He's super powerful. Against his own element, he has the elemental advantage. So I think these 3 are the main takeaway from Nemesis chest number 1. Moving on to Nemesis chest number 2, we have the main monster, the main attraction, Samael the Plague Carrier. This Sammy is the whole reason I decided to spend money on the game. If it wasn't for Sammy, I would not have spent money in the game. This is literally when I decided to take out my credit card and I'm like, I don't need to eat for a day. Let's purchase these pixels on the screen. No, but real talk, like, back when Sammy got released, generals ruled the game. General Thetis ruled the game. General Thetis would always go first because the enemy would have like level 10 runes, and she had a skill called Stamina Devours, which drained your stamina. Then Sammy came in the game with a skill called Samael Warrior, which basically gave one of your monsters an extra turn and all of their stamina back, and it cost no stamina to use. So even if General Thetis went first and drained your whole team's stamina, here came in Sammy, turn transferring to your deny monster, turn transferring to your attacker, giving him an extra turn, giving him his stamina back and a damage boost. And this monster made the game so much more fun and playable again. Yes, it sucks it was behind a paywall. Yes, that all sucks. But I can definitely tell you, in terms of money spent for the game, I do not regret those $20. I love this monster. He is by far one of my favorite monsters. And it's funny, the reason I don't have him at level 130, I only have mine at level 115, is because even though he's this amazing and I love him and I praise him, I personally don't think this monster needed to be level 130 like Xyron the Ruby. The reason Xyron the Ruby needs to be level 130 is because I needed her to go first. And yes, I'm going to color her for the whole game. I needed Xyron the Ruby to go first and deny the enemy with her skill. Sammy, as I already explained, I can have a General Thetis go before me, stamina drain me, and then I could still go ahead and turn transfer. So as long as Sammy went second in the turn order, I was okay with that. So that's why I never really bothered on ranking him up more than he needed to. We have Talos the Forgotten Artifact. Again, I personally love Talos, the free-to-play Nemesis monster. He had a mechanic where you could, I think, did he introduce trade disable? He might have introduced trade disable, and he's an artifact monster. He had a mechanic where he could trade disable and then possess an enemy monster, which I thought was so awesome and strong. He had another mechanic where he can just deal a massive damage. He has like an 80 damage skill. But that being said, like, against Talos, not really needed. We have Nadael the Pyromancer. Overall, I like Nadael over, like, just in general, I like him. The total damage reduction and everything, but I don't think he's really a monster that you absolutely need. We have Xyron the Emerald, and it's sad to say that because Xyron the Ruby exists, the other Xyrons might as well not exist. Especially Quartz, Emerald, like, I honestly forget there's anything else than Ruby. Emerald and Quartz, it's like, why do you even exist? Because everyone's gonna go for Ruby. So, sorry, Xyron the Emerald, you're just completely outshined. We have Farday the Electrolyzer. So this is one of the very few, he might be the only one where I tell players, if you could only have one Nemesis monster at level 100, honestly, get yourself Farday the Electrolyzer. Because here's the thing, if you want Xyron the Ruby, and you want the skill that applies 2 random control skills to the enemy, you're going to have to rank up Xyron the Ruby. Whereas Farday, he's usable just because of anticipation and his skill set. So the Electrolyzer, the base version, has a skill that can blind, has a skill that can sunburn, AoE versions. So even if the enemy, like, attacks you, anticipation kicks in, you AoE blind everyone, then you AoE sunburn everyone, or daze, or whatever he can do. So he's usable at 100 just for anticipation. Gotta love it. We have Warthog the Skull Crusher, basic Warthog, no need talking about him. We have Lum the Light of Freedom, basic Lum, don't need to talk about her. Hydrotilla the Boltcaster, Boltcaster's pretty good in terms of the Hydrotillas. So when SocialPoint first made Hydrotilla, they messed up. This was the first Nemesis. Instead of, like, you see how all the other ones, like, if you get Sammy, you have Sammy the Plague Carrier. He's a dark monster with metal attacks. So he's a dark monster with different variations. They kind of messed up with Hydrotilla because Hydrotilla you have the water version, which is a water monster. The thunder version is actually a thunder monster and not a water monster with thunder attack. So they kind of messed that up. So Hydrotilla is actually in the thunder category. So in the Faraday category, I don't think he's really worth mentioning. Like, his skill set isn't bad or anything, but I just don't think Hydrotilla is worth mentioning, even just for the sake that he was a mistake of the Nemesis. Let's put it that way. We have Lucifer the Life Melter, basic Lucifer, and we have Light of Freedom. I think I mentioned it all. For some reason, this SocialPoint did this on purpose, huh? They put a lot of the basic Nemesis variations with the almighty Sammy. I think they realized how much people want and crave Samael, that they're like, let's put all the basic versions that players don't care for. So of all of these, I would really just recommend Sammy. So Nemesis Chest 2 has one monster I recommend, and Nemesis Chest 1 has, well, one monster, but like 3 that I'd be okay with, right? With Warthog, Bound Splitter, Zyron the Ruby, Faraday the Discharger, those 3 are good, are okay getting. And then Nemesis Chest 2 says that Sammy the Plague Carrier one's after. And then that brings us to Nemesis Chest number 3, the one we will be purchasing. So Nemesis Chest number 3 has Warthog the Sunbringer, which is a good Warthog variation. He's pretty powerful. A lot of players actually like this Warthog more than the other Warthog, and I think it's because he is a dark monster killer. Like, he can probably kill Sammy because he has light-based attacks, and I think he has a strong like 70 or 80 damage attack, maybe even on 0 turn cooldown or 1 turn cooldown. So a lot of players like Sunbringer. He can apply Sunburn to the enemy monsters. He's definitely worth it in terms of all the Warthogs. We have Sammy the Fever Scatterer, and he's also, like, there was actually some debate amongst which Sammy was better. I personally think it's Plague Carrier all the way, but Fever Scatter, he's pretty good himself. His turn transfer skill actually gives double damage, whereas the Plague Warrior, or Plague Carrier, only gives 50% damage increase. So in terms of an attacker Sammy, this is the way to go. He has a strong attack, and again, he's a light version, so against his own element, he can kill the other Sammys, because this Sammy is typically ran as an attacker. We have Lucifer the Hope Freezer. This Lucifer can do AoE freeze, so fire monster with AoE freeze capabilities. That's honestly pretty good. Lum the magical matriarch. This is the AoE stun Lum. So yeah, this one actually. And then we have Faraday the Obscure. All the Faradays are good. This one applies a lot of torture. So one way to really wither down the enemy monsters is with torture skills. So that's actually, so honestly, this one has 5 monsters that if you were to get, I'd be, hey, that's okay. You have basic Zyron, Quartz, doesn't matter. You have basic Talos, doesn't matter. You have Hydrotilla Riftmaker, I don't even know what this one can do, maybe stun. And then you have Nada the Deforester. What is it, fire version? Nature version? Basic version? I don't know, who cares? So, Nemesis number 3 has 5 monsters that if you get, it'd honestly be okay. Warthog Sunbringer, Lucifer Hope Freezer, Samael the Fever Scatter, Lum the Magical Matriarch, and Faraday the Obscure. Those 5, honestly, if you get, are pretty good. So, in my personal opinion, that makes Nemesis Chest number 3 technically the most worth it, because there's a higher likelihood to get something that you want. But, if you're after Zyron the Ruby, you might as well go for Nemesis Chest number 1, because there's a chance you get Zyron the Ruby, and even if you don't, maybe you end up with Mountain Splitter, maybe you end up with Discharger, which are 2 really great Nemesis monsters. And honestly, we can kind of say that even if you get Nada the Flutter, that's still good, although really a lot of people probably don't use them that much. And Lum is also still technically good, even a lot of people probably don't use her that much. But Nemesis Chest number 2, unfortunately, has the almighty Samael the Plague Carrier, but then there's too many not really that great monsters that you can get in Nemesis Chest number 2, unfortunately. So yeah, in my personal opinion, if you are gonna go for the gamble and get a Nemesis Chest number 3 really is the way to go. And if you don't want to buy a chest and you don't want to gamble, which is actually what I recommend, honestly, what you should really do is just buy individual cells. So let's see if we can see who, it's just Warthog today. So if you ever, I would say honestly, save your cells, save your Nemesis souls for when Samael the Plague Carrier comes out. That would be my advice for when Ruby comes out, because the chest, oh there it is, Sammy the Plague Carrier. 50 for 25, no wonder. See, SocialPoint knows how good he is. So yeah, 50, yeah, so, oh wait, they're all, even the quartz. So these are the Nemesis 2 ones. Let's see what else we have. Can you also get ruby cells or no? But yeah, this would honestly be my advice. Yes, it's gonna cost 200 souls, but at least you get Sammy, the Plague Carrier, the main monster you want. I would rather you spend 200 on just getting your 100 Sammy, the Plague Carrier cells, than spending 200 on chests and potentially not getting them. So that's my advice to everyone, okay? you've heard it first here. I don't recommend the chests, but because this isn't my account and they were going to get the Nemesis chest anyways, and they told me they wanted to do an opening, once again, huge shout out, huge thanks to Chattu YouTube. We're going to go ahead and do it. Let's see what you get. Let's see what you get. Nemesis chest 3 opening. Let's go. And it is a Chinchi0lla the Rift Maker. Okay, so not what we wanted. Let's try again. Nemesis chest number 3. It is a Samuel the Fever Scatter. Awesome. I'll take that any day of the week. One of the best things you can get in Nemesis chest number 3. And let's do the third time. Let's see what we get now. Lucifer the Hope Freezer. Honestly, that looks pretty epic. And then let's do the last one. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? It is a double Sammy. Awesome. Awesome and not awesome. Because as long as you have Elemental Cells and Elementium, you can actually rank up Sammy, so you don't need 2 versions of it. But it is kind of cool to know that you got 2 versions of it. So there we go. We have officially opened up 4 Nemesis Chest 3 openings. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found this video informative. I always get a lot of questions about which chest is worth it. Now you know my answer. Personally, I don't think a chest is worth it. I think you should go for the individual monster you want, aka Samael the Plague Carrier or Zyron the Ruby. And if you have to absolutely gamble, technically Nemesis chest number 3 is the best because 5 out of all the monsters available are really good. And if not that one, if you're after Zyron the Ruby, then get Nemesis number 1 because you can get Ruby, or if not, you still get 2 other good Nemesis monsters. And then Nemesis chest number 2 with just Sammy available. Ooh, that's a huge gamble. Just save up the souls and just get Sammy yourself. But with that being said, once again, a huge thanks to our member chat. And I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Thank you very much, and I will see you all next time.